Good morning, guys. Able to hear me? Just 1 second. Just 1 second, guys. So very good morning, guys. वैसे अगर अभी बीच में थोड़ा आज अगर इंटरनेट थोड़ा स्लो है या तो कुछ ट्रबल हो जाए तो ज्यादा टेंशन मत लेना. दैट इज बाउंड टू हैपन. We've had extremely bad weather in Hyderabad from morning 3 o'clock. So there's power fluctuation on and off. मतलब we are having तूफान in Hyderabad. हैदराबाद में तूफान चल रहा है. And technically this is May. Yes. The kind of rain we had today in the morning, I've rarely seen it. हमारे यहाँ लू और लूलू दोनों चले गए आज. Okay, guys. So this is people do call me Kondala. So they didn't tell me, but they fixed my name themselves. And those who are not yet part of my Telegram group, you can always join my Telegram group plus students. And this is daily free morning channel, daily free morning class on YouTube. Okay. Now consider the following statements regarding world food price. It was started by Norman Borlaug for saving millions of lives through scientific research. It was established in 1986 and currently it is presented by the World Food Prize Organization. It is given every year on October 16th in a special ceremony in Des Moines, Iowa. Which of the following statements about either are correct? Good morning, Madhav. World Food Prize. It was actually started by Norman Borlaug for saving millions of lives through scientific research. Um, he got Nobel Peace Prize in 1970. The World Food Prize was established in 1986 and currently it is presented by World Food Prize Foundation, which has over 80 individuals and etc. as donors. Iowa, America, United States. Indians including M.S. Swaminathan, Varghese Kurian, Gurdev Ghosh, Ratan Lal have been recipients of this award. It is given every year on October 16th in a special ceremony in Des Moines, Iowa. Iowa State, United States of America. Which of the following nations is a full member of G20? Mexico, Singapore, Chile, Malaysia. Guys, did yesterday you guys see the pre 1857 era movements video? Tribal movements pre 1857 on this YouTube channel? Now, after class, I'm going to release a video of the Delhi Sultanate literature list. The list of a video of Delhi Sultanate literature. Quick, less than 1 minute video. Hmm. Answer is B. Argentina, Australia, Brazil, Canada, Chile, France, Germany, India, Indonesia, Italy, Japan, Mexico, Russia, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, South Korea, Turkey, United Kingdom, United States, and European Union. And Union. Consider the following statements about G7 nations. G7 is an international intergovernmental or economic organization. G7 summits include seven heads of the states and from seven member countries. G7 summits are held annually and hosted on rotation basis by the group's members. Sandeep, ये class खत्म होते ही in the first 20 minutes you will have the video live on YouTube. Medieval India terminology of literature. उसके बाद we will do today tomorrow full videos ही videos मिलेंगे उसमें. I'll flood with all the prelims वाला factual junk. Those information that you need for prelims. I didn't sleep yesterday, so I was doing a lot of other work. ये सब काम कर रहा था मैं. Yes, those are videos recorded. I mean, animated videos. Good morning, Dian. G7 is a forum of the world's seven largest developed economies whose government leaders meet annually to discuss international economic and monetary issues. It is an international intergovernmental economic organization mainly consisting of the seven IMF advanced economies: Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, United Kingdom, and United States. The annual G7 summit includes seven heads of the state from these seven countries. Okay. Consider the following statements about G20. G20 is an international forum for governments and central bank governors from 19 countries and the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. G7 members suspended Russia's membership of G7 group due to Russia's annexation of Crimea. Which of the following statements these are correct? Varsha, at this point, I don't have time for sleeping. Prelims ke baad I'll sleep. I always keep telling the same thing for me. Answer is B. B, 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 B. Good morning, Niharika. Good morning, good morning. On 24th of March 2014, the G7 members actually cancelled the planned G8 summit. It was originally G8 with Russia in the city of Sochi and suspended Russia's membership from the group due to Russia's annexation of Crimea. They stopped short of outright permanent expulsion because, I mean, it would make no sense to remove Russia because Russia is not. You have to understand, Russia की हालत इतना है ऐसा है ना. Russia doesn't need the world needs Russia because Russia has gas. The G20 is an international forum for governments and central bank governors from 19 countries and European unions. Okay, G20. 19 countries and Organization of Union, European Union. Now, consider the following statements about OCI, Overseas Citizenship of India. OCI scheme was introduced by the Citizenship Act 1955. OCI card holders have no right to vote, no right to hold constitutional offices, and no right to buy agricultural properties. Recently, government held that OCI card holders enjoy fundamental rights guaranteed by the Constitution, including right to freedom of speech and expression. Which of the following statements is or are incorrect? Sandeep, I'll tell you the problem. I'll tell the problem. I mean, think it on this way. It is a culture in Papua New Guinea to actually touch the legs. It's a culture in Papua New Guinea where they touch the legs. Just like how it is a culture in Australia to wear chappal and bikini of their national flag. Problem comes is the when media tries to wrongly project this. Papua New Guinea's minister was not touching Modi's feet. He was touching the feet of Prime Minister of India. वहां पे नरेंद्र मोदी हो, बाबू भैया हो या बाबूराव गणपतराव आपटे हो, Papua New Guinea King Minister would have touched the feet. No problem. They were not touching because he is Modi. Indian media said they broke protocol. Answer is D. The OCI is an immigration status permitting a foreign citizen of Indian origin to live and work in the Republic of India indefinitely. It was introduced under the Citizenship Act Amendment 2005 in August 2005. The Constitution of India prevents Indian citizens from holding dual citizenship. As such, the OCA is not an actual citizenship of India according to the Indian laws, as it has many limitations like no right to vote, no right to hold constitutional office, no right to buy agricultural properties, etc. Okay, now OCI card holders do not enjoy any fundamental rights as guaranteed by the Constitution, including the right to freedom of speech and expression. The government told very clearly in the Delhi High Court. The question is asking incorrect. Okay, so 1 and 3 are incorrect. 2 is correct. The government's response came in actually in a plea formed by Dinesh Thakur of Ranbaxy seeking right to information under RTI Act. OCA card holders have merely been granted statutory rights under the Citizenship Act 1955. So it is basically like a semi-citizenship, not a full citizenship. Consider the following statements regarding Global Multidimensional Poverty Index. Global MPI is developed by World Bank. It uses health, education, standard of living indicators to determine the incidence and intensity of poverty experienced by a population. Here, each indicator is given an equal weightage. Which of the following statements above is or are correct? 1 and 2, 2 and 3, 1 and 3, 1 to 3. Multi-dimensional poverty index. See, for example, 3 days, I think last week, Saudi mein, one of the ministers was actually visiting Sri Krishna temple. इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि Saudi government has converted to Hinduism. Right? Logic. Global Multidimensional Poverty Index is actually given by Oxford Poverty and Human Development Initiative (OPHI) and UNDP, United Nations Development Program. Yes, exactly. UNDP and Oxford Poverty and Human Development Index. It uses health, education, and standards of living indicators to determine the incidence and intensity of poverty experienced by a population. Each of these dimensions, health, education, standard of living, etc., is typically given an equal weightage. And each indicator within the dimension is also again typically equally weighted. GPHI. Uh, Consider the following statements. World Food Day was established in November 1979. World Food Day is being celebrated every year on October 16th to commemorate the founding of United Nations World Food Program. Food and Agriculture Organization is a specialized agency of United Nations that leads international efforts to defeat hunger. Answer here is C. 1 and 3 only. The question is asking correct. 1 and 3. World Food Day is established in November 1979 as suggested by former Hungarian minister Dr. Paul Romani. It gradually became a way to raise awareness on hunger, malnutrition, sustainability, sustainable food production, etc. World Food Day is being celebrated on October 16 to commemorate United Nations founding of the UNFAO, United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, not the starting of World Food Program. वो अलग है. Okay. And FAO is basically a specialized agency of United Nations that primarily deals with international efforts to defeat hunger. It is based in Rome, Italy. It was founded on the 16th of October 1945. The main goal of FAO is to achieve food security for all and make sure that people have regular access to enough high quality food to lead active and healthy lives. FAO is a specialized food wing of United Nations. Global Financial Stability Report is prepared by. By the way, guys, this Friday I will not be having a class. 25th. 25th को छुट्टी है. 'Global Financial Stability Report is actually prepared by IMF. It basically addresses the stability of global financial markets and global fiscal status. The stability of the financial markets. Yes, yes. This is all, guys. Majority questions I'm giving are previous year questions. With reference to IMF, consider the following statements. IMFC, International Monetary and Financial Committee. It basically discusses matters concerning the global economy, advises International Monetary Fund on direction of its work. World Bank participates as an observer at IMFC meetings. Which are the following statements? These are all correct. Nathan, 26th, which is Friday. 8 a.m. Dinesh, Naresh. Every day, 8 a.m. Every day, same YouTube channel. Over the last 16 days, we've been taking this continuously. Good morning, Anidhi. Answer is C. IMFC advises and reports the IMF Board of Governors on the supervision and management of international monetary and financial systems, including on response of unfolding events that may disrupt the system. A number of international institutions, including World Bank, participate as observers in the IMFC meetings. IMFC is very, very important institution, basically works as an advisor. Which of the following releases the grievance redressal index? RBI, SEBI, NITI, none of the above. The grievance redressal index. Answer is D. UIDI tops the grievance redressal index for the second consecutive month. Basically, UIDI, Aadhaar Office, DARPG releases the grievance redressal index on a monthly basis. So that's why none of the above. Department for Administrative Reforms and Public Grievances, DARPG, releases the grievance redressal index. Which one of the following Indian cities has won the World Green City Award 2022? World Green City Award, Hyderabad, Bangalore, Chennai, Indore. Hyderabad is also the UNESCO gastronomical city, right? Sooner or later, it's going to be the World Heritage City. Hyderabad has been given the World Green City Award in the category of living green and economic recovery and inclusive growth at the International Association for Horticulture Producers 2022 World Green Cities Award, which was actually organized in Jeju, South Korea. No, because in terms of greenery, Hyderabad is increasing its greenery while the world cities, including Bangalore, are actually losing their greenery. Hyderabad is actually multiplying its greenery by a faster rate, actually, now. Consider the following statements about International Solar Alliance. It's an intergovernmental organization launched in 2015 with 110 members and signatory countries. International Solar Alliance is the first such intergovernmental organization to be headquartered in India. And its mission is to unlock $1 trillion worth of investment in solar by 2030 and reduce the cost of technology and its financing. Which are the following statements about is or are correct? 1 and 2, 2 and 3, 1 and 3, 1, 2, 3. Yes. Yes, Prabhuna. Haritaharam. Not just Haritaharam for the rural, also the urban. In the urban, also they're planning it very, very well with in terms of the entire green cover. None of the flyovers they are leaving free. They're putting pots, they're putting trees, they're putting mini gardens, mini parks everywhere. Answer is D D D D D D D D D. ISA is an intergovernmental organization created in 2015 with 110 members and signatory countries. It is first such intergovernmental organization to be headquartered in India. The main mission is to unlock $1 trillion worth of investment in solar by 2030, reduce the cost of technology and its financing. Very important projects are OSWOG, One Sun, One World, One Grid. ISA, Solar Technology and Application Research Center, ISTARC, and ITEC, Indian Technical and Economic Cooperation Scheme. Madhav, we are already top in two important fields. Very, very important field. Telangana is the topper. Number of per capita drunkards and the number of per capita meat eaters. We are top in the country already. We achieved it. Oh, yes, we have much more potential and a lot of other things. Yes. Consider the following statements regarding Harappan civilization. Ancient Greek civilization was contemporary to Harappan civilization. The evidence of bread maker shops have been found at Chanudharo and Lothal. At Kalibangan, a brick structure has been identified as a dockyard meant for berthing ships and handling cargo. Which of the above statements is or are correct? 1 and 2, 1 and 3, 2 only, 2 and 3. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Other than Puja and Pavan, can you guys tell me, can you just enlighten me how Greeks and Harappans are together and how Kalibangan actually had a dockyard? Because जहाँ तक I taught or जहाँ तक even R.S. Sharma sir said, don't you think the dockyard was only available in Lothal? ये अकेले अकेले कालीबंगन में डॉकयार्ड भी बना लिया और हमको बोला भी नहीं. अकेले अकेले बस. Yeah, why would Rajasthan even have a dockyard in the first place? How is it even possible? सोचो ना यार. Don't rush into an answer. यहाँ पे जल्दी नहीं करना है. Even if you finish your paper early, they won't let you out of the room until the finish of exam time. You know this, right? Egyptian civilization, Mesopotamian civilizations were actually the contemporary of Harappans. Ancient Greek civilization came into existence much later, after the decline of Harappans. Bead making was also important. Beads were made of precious and semi-precious stones such as agate and carnelian. Steatite was used for making beads as well. The evidence of bead maker shops have been found at Chanador and Lothal. Gold, ivory beads have been found. Bracelets have been found. At Lothal, a brick structure which looks almost like an artificial dockyard has been observed, which might have been used for berthing ships and handling cargo. Not Kalibanga. Okay. Which of the following Harappan sites are located in India? Amri, Manwali, Lothal, Balakot. Located in India. Answer is B, 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 B. 2 and 3. Banwali, Lothal. Amri हमारे पास नहीं है ना. This you must know. Amri is not with us. Amri is not with us. Yes, Sindh, Pakistan. Consider the following statements. Dholevira, the archaeological site of Harappan era city, is located in Haryana. Dholevira is the first site of ancient Indian valleys, ancient Indus Valley civilization in India to get UNESCO World Heritage Site tag. Which of the following statements these are incorrect? Yes, Balakot. And I because obviously I'm a teacher. I was reading Pakistan history textbooks. Pakistan believes their greatest contribution is giving Indus Valley civilization to the world. उनके बुक में है that they gave Indus Valley civilization to the world. For me itself, it took me like 2-3 दिन लगे थे मुझे कि कहना क्या चाहता है ये. Achievement छोड़ो. Pakistan created Indus Valley civilization. You know this? You don't know? You know. You should know. मतलब कॉन्फिडेंस हो तो ऐसा बस. Answer is A. Dholevira is an archaeological site of Harappan era city World Heritage Site tag आया था. Dholevira was the 40th site from Gujarat, fourth site from Gujarat, and 40th from India to make to the list. It is the first of ancient Indus Valley sites in India to get that tag. India may say it is that tag. Because the answer is asking incorrect, one is incorrect. It is in Gujarat. And most people did not read the incorrect option. Consider the following statements. Trade related aspects of intellectual property rights TRIPS was promoted by WTO in 1995 for uniform global IPR rules. Indian IVC. TRIPS does not have provision to enable governments to enforce compulsory licensing. Correct, Bushra. Answer is A. TRIPS was founded on the principle of product patents. TRIPS does have a provision to enable governments to enforce compulsory licensing. A. TRIPS can enforce licensing. They can demand an innovator company must allow domestic lower cost producers to increase the supply of the drug in an emergency with compensation to the inventor of the course. They can. Yes, TRIPS was established under the intellectual IPR rules of WTO 1995 for uniform IPR rules. So, new information for you. TRIPS does have permission for enabling governments to enforce compulsory licensing. Consider the following statements. Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat was launched in 2015 with an aim to build sustained and structured cultural connections between people of different regions. It is an initiative of Ministry of Education. Which of the following statements is or are correct? In fact, remember, Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat is the flagship program of Narendra Modi government. I don't know. The minute I start Viceroys class, many people are leaving the class. I mean, is it because वाइसरॉय का क्लास जरूरी नहीं है सर, एमसीक्यू कर दो क्योंकि प्रीलिम्स है. If that's the case, then I'll just share the Viceroy's material rather than doing a class. I have no issues. हम सिर्फ एमसीक्यू करेंगे. I know people are definitely perfect and like Viceroys उनके घर में से आ रहे हैं. I mean, I understand. Many people are of the confidence that Viceroy is like my housemaid. I know everything about Viceroy. Trust me, I'll tell you one thing. UPSC exam में you will always get hit on the parts where you feel very confident. Ek Bharat, Shresth Bharat is actually a flagship program started on the 140th birth anniversary of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, mainly to celebrate unity and diversity of our nation and maintain strength of the fabric of traditionally existing emotional bonds between people. Their main aim is to create an environment which promotes learning between states and sharing best practices and experiences between the states. It is actually a program under the initiative of Ministry of Education. All states, union territories are to be covered under this program. There will be a pairing of states or union territories at national level, which will be in effect for 1 year or till the next round of pairings. States or union territory level pairings would be utilized for state level activities. District level pairings would be independent of state level pairings. Okay. The term blacklist, grey list, sometimes mentioned in news, are associated with which of the following? Blacklist, grey list. बिल्कुल सही जवाब. Financial Action Task Force, FATF. Blacklist are basically non-cooperative countries. These are countries that support terror funding and money laundering activities. Basically, three countries are part of it: Iran, Myanmar, and North Korea. Grey list are countries that are considered a safe haven for supporting terror funding. Their inclusion serves as a warning that the country may enter blacklist. After Pakistan's delisting, 23 countries still remain under grey list: Philippines, Syria, Yemen, United Arab Emirates, etc. It is available in 1000. I don't do in 1080 because it takes a lot of data and it takes a lot of it demands too much from the internet. I just do till 360, 780 maximum, 720p. Kunal, I've always told you many times. जिंदगी में आपसे कोई भी नहीं पूछता कि तुम शादी करना चाहते हो या नहीं. द क्वेश्चन इज ऑलवेज शादी कब कर रहे हो. They've all decided that you will get married. You don't get a choice. They ask you when is your marriage. Nobody ever asks you, are you interested in getting married? Always remember this. Because they suffered, they expect you also to suffer. It's human. Sadeep, the way I see why Pakistan was removed from grey list is रोटी खाने का पैसा नहीं है. टेरर फस्टिंग खा खार करेंगे टेरर फंडिंग. नहीं, इट्स अ सिंपल लॉजिक. मैरिड पीपल सफर. सिंगल्स क्यों एंजॉय करे लाइफ. Why must singles have all the fun? When did dance from East India Company? When did dance form an East India Company and arrive in India? Kunal, there is only one solution. शादी कर लो, घर से बाहर निकल पाओगे. Simple. Danish East India Company was established in 1616. This is a previous year question, guys. PYQ. Which of the following about dance in India are correct? They set up a factory at Tranquebar in Tamil Nadu in 1620. They established a settlement at Serampur in Bengal in 1676. Tranquebar was the headquarters in India. Serampur was their headquarters in India. Select the correct answers from the codes given below. अच्छा माधव ऐसा है. Abdul Kalam. Abdul Kalam had a purpose and a aim. He was also married to science. He was married to the missile program. Danish headquarters. Tranquebar or Serampore. It is actually D. They established their first settlements in Tranquebar in Tamil Nadu, 1620. And then they established a settlement in Serampore in Bengal in 1676. Tranquebar was actually their headquarters in India, in Tamil Nadu. Serampore, what is Serampore known for? What is the greatest Danish contribution in Serampore? Any idea? The Serampore printing press. For the first time, Danish. Yes, Serampore mission. Yes, Serampore mission, where they were able to uh, translate Bible into vernacular languages. When and to whom did Danish sell all their settlements in India? French 1750, Portuguese 1700, Dutch 1800, British 1845. I'll try to put something from tomorrow. I'll try because I need to spend some time in programming one. See, the thing is, all my slides, all the videos of YouTube, all the classes, everything I do alone. I mean, basically, I don't believe on anybody. All the graphics, all the editing, all the post production, the entire audio editing, everything I only have to do. I only do it. So it takes a lot of time to add new features. The Danes sold all their assets in India to British. Yes, 1845. Which are the following are the main items imported by Europeans from India? Textile, indigo, perfume, saltpeter, opium, horses. सर अब टाइम नहीं मिलता अभी. को यूट्यूब के 10 मिनट वीडियो बनाने के लिए ऑलमोस्ट 3-4 घंटे निकल जाते हैं. It must be D. Main items, not all items. Main items. Saltpeter टर्की मंगोलिया में भी मिलता था, not just in India. Previous question, UPSC gave this answer. Definitely, Kunal. Which of the following items were not imported by Europeans from India? Sugar, porcelain, raw silk, pepper, bullion. Not imported from India by Europeans. The answer is D, 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 D. D. D, 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 D. Bullion and porcelain, China से. Which one of the following were the positive effects of beginning of European commerce? Increase in quantity of India's exports, commercialization of Indian agriculture, rapid rise in the price of goods in India, growth of money economy in India, establishment of close links between Indian and world markets. Read this question a little more properly and then answer it. Don't just rush the answer. जल्दी का काम शैतान का है. Answer is A. 1, 2, 4 and 5. था बट यूरोपियंस के साथ ज्यादा था. Thanks to Europeans, world markets. Before Europeans, we were only with. Oh, yes. मनी बेस्ड इकोनॉमी ज्यादा हो गया ना. Yes. See, commercialization of Indian agriculture was to some extent positive only, no? European commerce के साथ. We became more and more connected to the world supplier. Okay. No. Who were physiocrats? English classical economists opposed to monopolist trade practices. French merchants in favor of free trade policy. Portuguese sea pirates in Indian Ocean. Dutch soldiers protecting their settlements in India. Who were physiocrats? Physiocrats were a school of economists founded in 18th century France, characterized chiefly by a belief that the government policy is not to interfere with the operation of natural laws of economy and that land is the source of all wealth. It is generally regarded as the first scientific school of economics. First scientific school of economics. Anadev, just ask him what does his mom give him every day to drink? English were able to triumph over Dutch in India, but not outside. In fact, one of the places outside India, a number of Englishmen were massacred by Dutch in 1623. Pick out from the following: Sri Lanka, Madagascar, Amboina, Cambodia. Dutch massacre. Sorry, English massacre by the Dutch. Amboina massacre, no? Indonesia. This is a fact question. Three events are important for the end of Dutch in India. One is Amboina massacre of Indonesia. Second is the Battle of Kolachal in Travancore. And last is Battle of Bedara with British. 1759 Battle of Bedara, 1748 Battle of Kolachal, and then उससे पहले Amboina massacre Indonesia. Answer is C. Whom the following Europeans confined their trading activities almost exclusively to China? Swedish, Dutch, Spaniards, and Danes. Oh yes, two times. Swedish, Dutch, Spaniards, and Danes, who restricted themselves only to China. Answer is D. Danish eventually restricted themselves only to trade with China. Which region in India provided the best quality of saltpeter and opium to the Europeans? Coromandel, Gujarat, Bihar, Malabar. Best quality saltpeter. Bihar. The best quality saltpeter. Saltpeter is the base requirement for making gunpowder for ammunition. Which of the following statements about Alfonso de Albuquerque is correct? He was the first Portuguese governor general in India. He captured Goa from rule of Bijapur in 1510. He persecuted Muslims who permitted his countrymen to take Indian women as wives. He conquered the island of Ormuz in the Persian Gulf in 1515. He died in 1515, leaving Portuguese as the strongest naval power in Indian Ocean. Almeida was the first Portuguese Governor General, right? Prapurna, when you said D, you're right. It's a pretty simple answer, pretty simple guess. He died in 1515, leaving Portuguese as the strongest naval power. Yes, definitely. He captured Goa. So obviously, he captured Goa from Bijapur king in 1510 is true. So only option B and option D can be selected because he was not the first Portuguese Governor General. So this is out. Francisco Almeida was the first. Now you are left with option B, options D. C is also gone because 2 has to be there. 2 and 3 are correct. So definitely these 2 are correct. He did conquer the island of Ormuz and Persian Gulf in 1515 and he died in 1515. So this option is right. This option is wrong. Elimination method. Please do the elimination method appropriately. Which of the following is not correctly paired? Alfonso de Albuquerque, second Governor General. Nino Docuna transferred headquarters from Cochin to Goa. Martin Alfonso, accompanied by Jesuit priest Francis Xavier to India. Francisco de Almeida lost Hormuz to the British. Not correctly matched. Answer is D. How can he lose Hormuz, which he never controlled in the first place? Hormuz even came into the control of Portuguese after Almeida's period during Albuquerque's period, no? Logic बनता ही है. Almeida was first governor general, no? Before Albuquerque. Answer is D. Which place was replaced by Bombay in 1689 as headquarters of East India Company on the west coast of India? Braj, Surat, Chaul, Salsette. B, 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 B. Surat. Exactly. Everybody is done. Fantastic, guys. Good, good. Good job. Good job. Surat. Who created the Madras presidency as it existed till Indian independence? Sir Thomas Munro, Lord Cornwallis, Lord Hastings, Lord Wellesley. Papuna, the previous question. We'll check. We'll check. Salsette was never under British occupation, no, Prapuna. It was mainly under the Portuguese and Marathas. Surat was a British base in the west coast. Oldest base, even before Bombay. This has to be Sir Thomas Munro because Cornwallis, Wellesley, and Hastings, all the 3 are from Bengal, not from Madras. Sir Thomas Munro, Rayatwar System Madras. Which one of the following villages was not purchased by English from the Mughal governor of Bengal in 1698? Kalikata, Hariharpur, Sutanuti, Gomindapur. Previous year question. बस ऐसे क्वेश्चन आ जाए मजा आ जाएगा, सुकून की जिंदगी। हरिहरपुर वैसा कुछ था भी नहीं, एनीवेज हरिहरपुर वाज नॉट, you can ignore it, comfortable. What is the chronological order of the following events? Jahangir's Farman permitting English to set up a factory at Surat. Establishment of English factory at Machilipatnam. Establishment of English factory at Armagaon in Pulicat. Departure of Sir Thomas Roe for England. Chronological order. आ गए chronological questions. D. Establishment of English factory 1611. Jahangir's Farman to permit English to establish a factory in Surat 1612. Departure of Sir Thomas Roe about 1614. Pulicat factory 1630. D. Which one of the following was not a French settlement? Yanam, Chandarnagore, Karaikal, Balasore. Not a French settlement. D. Balasore, yes. Balasore, no doubts. Which one of the following was not imported by Europeans from India? Textiles, indigo, perfumes, saltpeter. Not imported by Europeans from India. Answer C. Perfumes, Gulf, Iran. Iran and Persia, not from India. The Portuguese built their first port on Indian soil on the territory of Raja of Calicut, Cochin, Daman, Bijapur. This comes in one of the slides of my class. Pedro Alvarez Cabral, he built it. Why, man? Why? Calicut में कब था, guys? I mean, when was this happening? You didn't tell me. अब अकेले अकेले कर लिए, पोर्चुगीज ने अकेले अकेले टेरिटरी भी उठा लिया. कैलिकट का राजा कौन था? Zamorin. When did Zamorin permit the Portuguese to build a factory? Wasn't it Cochin and Kannur for the first or second? First was Cochin, second was Kannur, both by Pedro Alvarez Cabral, who came after Vasco. Just because Calicut में Portuguese came. We don't know his name. Not relevant. The Rajas of Cochin and Rajas of Kannur are the ones who actually permitted Portuguese to establish factories in Cochin and Kannur. The resistance from Arab traders was completely crushed by the Portuguese under Albuquerque, Almeida, General Pestado, Nino Ducuna. Yes, 1501, 1502, Cochin factory. Yes, thankfully. It is Battle of Chaul, no? Battle of Chaul. Again, why is Almeida coming? Okay, let me put it this way. Let me put it this way. I'm recollecting this. Vasco came and went. उसके बाद Cabral came. Cabral tried to create settlements in Cochin, Kannur and tried to restrict Arabs. He was defeated and thrown out. Then Almeida tried. Almeida fought two battles. In first one, Almeida was defeated. Second one, Almeida won, but he could not suppress them. It was only Albuquerque after when he came in 1509, he suppressed the Portuguese Arabs completely. That is how he was able to even occupy the Goa port, no, because he was able to suppress the Arab existence in Arabian coast completely. Alfonso de Albuquerque ended Arabs in the west. Which crop was introduced in India by Portuguese? Coffee, chili, tobacco, groundnuts. See, this was actually a very controversial question when it came. Chili should actually be the answer, but UPSC gave the answer tobacco. Chili should actually be the answer, but UPSC gave the answer as tobacco. Coffee was introduced by Arabs. Groundnut was already pre-existing in India. ये दोनों chili and tobacco both were given by Portuguese only. No, both were given by Portuguese only. UPSC at that time gave tobacco. Tobacco is not native to India. It must have been their mistake. This is from 1988. I don't even know. Question paper set करने वाला question की देना दोनों मर चुके हैं. The Dutch established themselves at Machilipatnam after obtaining the firman from the ruler of Bijapur 1601, Travancore 1606, Arcot 1606, Golconda 1606. No. Who told you the tobacco was already there? Who told you this? Tobacco was not native to India. Jahangir से पहले तंबाकू था ही नहीं. That is the reason we don't even have a Persian, Sanskrit or Arabic word for tobacco. We just call it tambaku, which is basically a Persianized English word of tobacco. We don't even have a word called tobacco in our languages. That's why we call it tobacco, no? D. Golconda Raja. The king of Golconda gave them the permission in 1606. Guys, we'll go on a quick 5 minutes break. We'll come back and we'll see Viceroys. We'll come back and we'll see Viceroys. Okay. We'll continue MCQs tomorrow. 1 second. Let me open the Viceroys file. Viceroys of India from Lord Dafar Babu. Okay. I'll see you in 5 minutes, guys. Okay. Okay. Good morning, guys. So let us discuss. Let us go back to Lord Dufferin, very important Governor General and Viceroy, the guy who messed up everything. He was a member of a Victorian society and was a senior British civil servant. He was, in fact, Dufferin was less a politician, more a diplomat. He was actually a very successful diplomat. He was the eighth Viceroy of India in 1884, succeeding Lord Ripon. And during Dufferin's period, most of you know the most important contribution is the formation of Indian National Congress. Dufferin was the Governor General and Viceroy from 1884 to 1888. He also came from the same Eton College and Christchurch, Oxford. Very senior diplomat, has previously worked as British Commissioner in Syria, Under Secretary of State for India, Under Secretary of War in 1866, Governor General of Canada, Ambassador of, say literally British representative in Russia, Ambassador in Turkey. So, Uncle काफी senior थे. He was a diplomat. And that is where Uncle ने गलती कर दी. Now we understand why he was so supportive and encourageable of formation of Congress. This was basically a diplomat who was running the government. Dufferin faced a very psychological and political conundrum as a successor of Ripon. See, thanks to Ilbert Bill controversy during Ripon's period, British India's or Viceroy's office relationship with the British people and with the Indian people are strained now. वहाँ पे Britishers also hate the British Viceroys because Viceroys have tried to give something more to Indians, right? And on the other hand, Indians also hate because Ilbert Bill में उनके साथ धोखा हुआ था. So Dufferin was coming with a challenge of actually convincing both the British subjects in India and the Indian subjects in British India. Ripon had unrivaled goodwill and respect from Indians, but he was equally despised or hated by Anglo Indians. For Anglo Indians, Lord Ripon was a renegade, was a loose cannon. Now, Dufferin had to, and Dufferin knew that if he has to rule successfully, he needs to ensure the continuity of the goodwill which Indians gave for the Viceroy's office. At the same time, he also has to bring back all the Britishers and Anglo Indians into the Viceroy's fold. Both the communities who were at odds with each other, he had to bring together. He must reclaim his own community support, while on the other hand, he must also, let's say, soothe or soften the resentment or hatred caused by white racial arrogance. Is hisab say, if you observe, Dufferin was very successful. At that, by the time he left India, he left Indians happy and active. He left Anglo Indians also trusting the British properly. His diplomatic skills allowed him to calm down this confusion, they calm the excitement and racial feeling that had arisen as the result of Ilbert Bill controversy. So he was very successful as a diplomat, but obviously, yes, long time, you can say he's a failure as a viceroy. His regime had been aptly described as an imperial embassy. Actually, remember this in prelims. Prelims में बहुत बार पूछ चुके हैं. Viceroy Dufferin's government has always been called the imperial embassy rather than an orthodox government. So it was less a government, more an embassy, more trying to convince people. He was a diplomat rather than an administrator or a ruler. During his period, there was the Third Burmese War, where the entire Burmese nation was annexed. Burma was annexed. King Mindon, Mindon, Mindon of Burma, was actually eventually thrown out of Burma and he was put in Ratnagiri near Maharashtra. Also, during Dufferin's period, there was the Panjare incident, 1885, when Russian forces occupied Afghanistan, south of Amudarya. And eventually leading a diplomatic crisis between Russia and United Kingdom. See, United Kingdom had been, I mean, British in India have been trying to keep Afghanistan safe and secure. But once Russia occupied Afghanistan's areas, relations between United Kingdom and Russia went to a chaos. He made very significant advancements for Indian nationalists, and in fact, कहा जाता है that Dufferin actually supported A.O. Hume, Alan Octavian Hume, to lay the groundwork for Indian National Congress. He also established the Imperial Service Corps, which was led actually by Indians, laying the groundwork for the modern Indian army. So, again, important for prelims. So, the credit of laying modern Indian army led by Indians, served by Indians for India, the credit goes to Duffer Babu. Dufferin Babu. In 1888, he published the report on the conditions of lower classes on Bengali population, commonly called the Dufferin Report, in which he highlighted the plight of the poor in Bengal. And the funny part is, it is this very Dufferin report which was used by Indian nationalists against British government and against British rule. Dufferin only gave the ammunition for Indians, not census, but only a analysis of the lower classes and the poor people in Bengal. Following the publication of report, Dufferin recommended formation of provincial and central councils with Indian representation, which obviously was a key demand for Indians and Indian nationalists. And eventually in 1888, he resigned and he left the country, leaving power in the hands of his successor, Lord Lansdowne. Very famous, I told you, during Dufferin's period is Punch Day incident, where Russia crossed its limits, attacked Afghanistan, and occupied Merv Oasis. Both British and Russian forces were almost on the edge of battle. Sitadri, we don't really call it socio-economic census because it was not for all societies, only for the poor people, and that only in the province of Bengal. Panjda is basically the place near Amudarya, border between present day Kazakhstan and Afghanistan. That region, Mervoyasis. Thanks to Dufferin's diplomatic efforts, war never happened. Russia retained the Mervoyasis and Panjde, but relinquished demands of Zulfikar Paz and promised to respect Afghanistan's territorial integrity. जो भी Russia took, it took the Mervoyasis and Panjde, but after that Russia did not cross. In addition, a joint commission of British and Russian forces was created to demarcate the border line between Afghanistan and Russia. Afghanistan's northern border today. The line was eventually established in 1887. आज तक Afghanistan and Central Asian CIS countries border is this only across the Amu Darya region. In 1885 May, Indian National Union was planned, which would be affiliated with the government, served primarily as a forum for Indian public opinion. The line of demarcation. The line is called line of demarcation, Sitadri. They don't have a line like our Durand line or McMahon line. This is called simply line of demarcation. So actually, originally, Congress was to be formed in May 1885, primarily as you could say pressure group, as an associate platform for the Viceroy's government, mainly as a forum to take educated Indians' opinion. But that never really happened because of some natural calamity. There was a plague epidemic in May. So Indian National Congress was eventually re-established or reformed, this time as Indian National Congress on the 28th of December 1885 at Gokuldas Tejpal Sanskrit College. 72 delegates attended this Congress conference. And Umesh Chandra Banerjee, W.C. Banerjee, was the president, first Congress president. Congress basically passed a resolution with the dissatisfaction with the current government system, calling for council reforms. And the entire demand of Congress was to increase the participation of Indians in the British administration of India. They were not asking for freedom, they were not asking for dominion status, nothing. Congress wanted simply greater participation of Indians in the government. That's it. The third Anglo-Burmese war was basically a dispute with the border of Manipur. इनके period में ही हुआ था. See, Burmese king had motivation to occupy East India Company in British India. He wanted to make India a colony of Burma. So that was the entire intention. First Burmese war, second Burmese war, third Burmese war, that's all. In fact, Burmese army attempted to demolish British border posts. Third Burmese war happened basically in the background of this. Burmese government accused British India of tax evasion, and they attacked. Burma adamantly opposed Indian British rulers and attacked. First Burmese war was before viceroyships, governor generals, 1824. 1828, Lord Amherst. Second Burmese war during Dalhousie, governor general. First viceroy to face a Burmese war was this guy, Dufferin only. English, in fact, the funny part is with Burma, English actually tried to negotiate. Dufferin tried a lot, nahi hua. So इसलिए Dufferin had no option. King Thibaw was attacked and English easily occupied Mandalay. And in 1885, Thibaw was removed and Burma became annexed territory of British India. Burma remained part of India till Government of India Act 1935. It was in Government of India Act 1935, Burma was removed from India and kept as a separate British province. Until 1935, Burma had one ruler, the Viceroy of India, with Rangoon as its capital. Rangoon was his capital. And King Thibaw himself and his family were sent to Ratnagiri in Maharashtra. They lived in Ratnagiri and died in Ratnagiri. Their descendants even today are there in Ratnagiri only. Maharashtra's Ratnagiri coastal town. Dufferin, if you observe, he achieved a high level of success. Dufferin received numerous honorific titles for his recognition and his personal achievements. DCL, LLD, a Fellow of Royal Society, Doctor of Oriental Learning, Punjab University. He became president of the British Geographical Society, also the rector or the principal of Edinburgh and St. Andrews College. He also had letters from high latitudes, Irish questions and speeches in India are among some of his most important intellectual works. He was also a great writer. Dufferin died in 1902 on February 12th in London. Although he did not intend to, he was not anti-Indian. ये बात हमेशा समझ लो. He did not hate Indians. He did not have bad opinion about Indians. He only wanted to do good for us. Ended up doing too much good. But his doing good also did a lot of bad for the British. That's how I see it. Dufferin was succeeded by Lord Lansdowne. Same. This guy was also previously a Governor General of Canada, Foreign Secretary of United Kingdom. He was also deputy leader between the Conservative Party, the Whig Party. Myanmar would have, if Myanmar was part of India, we would have had one more bigger headache to handle. Sandeep, you must understand Myanmar name से एक one country है. Myanmar में Kachin state, Karen state, they're all opposing the Myanmar government. We would have faced the same problem. Too much to handle. Lansdowne's administration in India was marked by peace, progress, and development projects. He was bringing Lansdowne 1888 to 1894 peace and development. In fact, when Lansdowne came, Dufferin had left a completely empty treasury. Dufferin had also left a scheme of political reform called Congress, which was starting to become anti-British. Then he also, Lansdowne also faced a revolt in Manipur, and there was little attempts to by Parliament to slow the growth of indigenous Indian industry to try to restrict. So he had a lot of things to do and lot of challenges, both from Britain and from the natives. And according to Lansdowne, the civil servants in India actually lacked a sympathy for the people they ruled. In fact, this guy believed, no, due to Burma war, coffers were left. This guy, Lansdowne, believed that Indians hated the British government because most of the Indian civil servants did not have a heart. He wanted to improve that. Civil service reforms. Bring human aspect to the civil service. Done by Lord Lansdowne. Lansdowne legitimized the work of Indian National Congress in an official circular, believing that rise of Indian nationalism was an inevitable byproduct of British administration. So, don't you think technically he's giving full support to Congress? And Lansdowne believes that Congress is a natural creation, not just Indianization of bureaucracy, Sitadri, but Indian aspect of bureaucracy. I mean, even if it is a British bureaucrat, he needs to understand the sentiments of Indians if he wants to be a good bureaucrat. This is what Lansdowne insisted on. Lansdowne's relationship with Congress leaders was not very always smooth, but he never hated India's political advancement. I mean, he was not against Indians. He overcame opposition from the Indian civil service to his own expanded and more liberal version of Dufferin's provincial council plan, where he wanted to give provincial councils a greater say with more Indians participating in provincial councils. That is what the essence of Government of India Act 1892 is all about. Government of India Act 1892 passed during this guy's period was basically about that only, no? Humanization of bureaucracy, yes, he only brought. Mm. Thanks to Lansdowne's efforts, indirect elections were introduced in India. The Act of 1892, Indian Councils Act, given by Lord Lansdowne, became the foundation for India's subsequent political development. First, we were welcomed indirectly, then we slowly went into direct government. Lansdowne also introduced the Factories Act. In fact, this Factories Act is phenomenal in labor development and workplace development. The act manually dealt with children's minimum between 7 to 9 years and maximum 12 to 14 years. So, children could maximum be allowed to work only to 7 hours per day. Even for women under the Factories Act, now the working hours were set at 11 hours per day with 1.5 hour interval. While men's working hours were never sort of regulated at this point of time, but Factories Act 1891, introduced by Lord Lansdowne, actually restricted or regulated the working hours and working quality for children and for women. And everybody was to be given one weekly holiday mandatorily. ये संडे हॉलीडे जो है ना यहीं से हुआ था obviously for church. Now you must understand the factories laws or factories act was not applicable to British owned coffee and tea plantations where obviously labor was ruthlessly exploited and slavery almost was in practice. In fact, government even created laws where the labor had absolutely no right, at least in plantations. And breach of contract, particularly in tea and coffee plantations, was made a criminal offense. See, by doing this, obviously, Lansdowne was trying to keep the British plantation owners happy. Yes, Narayan Das, Assam mein, plantation owner. He was the guy who started the practice of weekly 1 day holiday, which then became a proper tradition under the Factories Act 1891. Narayan Das was a plantation owner in Assam. Yes. And while, see, look, during Lansdowne's period, obviously Congress was becoming very active, moderate Congress. There were a lot of demands about adding Indians into ICS and permitting Indians to enter civil service. Atchison was appointed as the chairman of Public Service Commission, and a commission was created called the Atchison Commission. Sir C. Atchison, a senior ICS member and the Lieutenant Governor of Punjab, devised a plan that was finally approved in 1889 and implemented in 1891. The Atchison Commission. So, Atchison Commission of Civil Service Reforms was creation of Lord Lansdowne, approved in 1899, implemented in 1891. Reforms of civil service. See, Madhav, they were good Britishers, they were bad Britishers, just like how we had good politicians and bad politicians. So it'll be wrong to blanket. And after seeing Viceroys, at least your mindset about British rule will change after these Viceroys classes. The statutory civil service was eventually abolished under the new plan, and there were three civil service groups which were created: Imperial Indian Civil Service, the Provincial Civil Service, and the Subordinate Civil Service. Yeah, Group A, Group B, Group C, Group D, and state level services. यहीं से आया था. Imperial Civil Service was completely recruited only in London. This is Atchison suggestion. Sitadri. पहले कैसा था Sitadri, before Atchison's period, all bureaucrats were blindly recruited from Britain, even at the village level, even at the provincial level. वो बंद कर दिया था. Instead, Atchison Commission suggested creation of three categories of civil service: Imperial Indian Civil Service, Provincial Civil Service, and Subordinate Civil Service. Imperial Indian Civil Service, UPSC exam, London में. So Indians also can write, but they have to go to London and write the exam. Provincial Civil Service, Subordinate Civil Service, exam will happen in India only. Indians can recruit directly. Indians will get welcome here. So at least the provincial level and subordinate level, Indians could join easily. Exam will happen in India only. Indian Councils Act 1892. In fact, it is the pinnacle of parliamentary system in India. The act for the first time authorized appointment of additional members to central and provincial legislative councils. Full-fledged. And the members were permitted to ask questions about domestic issues with the Governor General's prior approval. In fact, they could elect members of the councils, albeit indirect elections system was implemented. That is, the provinces will have their own members. From there, few members will be sent to central council. Indirect elections. At least indirect election. Members of provincial councils can be nominated by universities, district boards, municipalities, zamindars, chambers of commerce. So these people, universities, district boards, municipalities, zamindars, chambers of commerce, they will send members to provincial councils. Provincial council members will send members to central council. This act was one of the first steps towards establishment of a representative government in India. Understand this, that such representation was only indirect. And to be honest, there was nothing for an average middle class poor Indian. Mostly it was actually well off. The rich business class, zamindars who could actually be part of the government. But at least they were part of the government. They were part of the government. Lansdowne dedicated his time in continuation of that with the Durand line. Russia, France, England had big challenges. So Lansdowne first occupied Sikkim, some bordering areas of Chittagong, some states of Burma's eastern front, and eventually he is actually the architect of what we call the Durand line. It was actually an agreement to secure Northwest and Afghanistan, named after Sir Mortimer Durand. So Durand Line was going to be the border between the British Northwest Province, which is India, and Afghanistan. They built strong fortifications and large cantonments across the India-Afghanistan border, which is present-day Pakistan-Afghanistan border. Railroad communication was also improved. Indian military bases were conducted, and the strongest fortification was established in Rawalpindi. Sir, he was the yes board of control as well. Yes, not board of control, but he was actually the in charge of the border committee. Rawalpindi, Peshawar, Attock were to be fortified. That's why today Rawalpindi is the general headquarters of Pakistan Army, strongest military base with fortifications from the Durand period. And another important change during Lansdowne's period is the Age of Consent Act, where Age of Consent Act was enacted, raising the age of consent for sexual intercourse for all girls, married or unmarried, irrelevant, from 10 to 12 years. So 12-year girl can have sexual intercourse, married or unmarried, irrelevant. Any violation of this will be punishable as rape. Consent was important. Not marriage. Consent was important. The act was an amendment to the Indian Penal Code and Criminal Procedure Code of Section 375. 1891 Durand Commission and the Legislative Council of Governor General of India in Calcutta by Sir Andrew Scobell introduced the bill in January 1891. So Andrew Scobell introduced the bill. Age of Consent Act increased the age. Yes, Madhav, I agree with you. There was a lot of debate. Obviously, Age of Consent Act was vehemently, strongly opposed by the Orthodox Hindu community, including R.C. Dutt, Ramesh Chandra Dutt, who believed that the act itself is good, but it must come by the Indians, not by the British types. But many liberals like Rao Bahadur Krishnaji Lakshman Nulkar of Bombay fully supported. Many liberals supported. Age of Consent Act remains the greatest success. Lanzo, as a leader of House of Lords in 1909, actually opposed Lord Curzon, and other conservative members who opposed the expansion of 1892 legislation. So in fact, I'll tell you what was happening. 1892 में indirect elections दिए थे ना, 1909 में discussion हो रहा था to further expand the 1892 resolutions and try to give Indians direct elections. Curzon opposed giving Indians the right to elect. Lansdowne went back when by that time Lansdowne was back in London. He opposed Curzon. In fact, later period में Lansdowne, even from London, he continued his work for entry of Indians into Viceroys Supreme Council, entry of Indians into Council of India. In fact, Lansdowne deeply regretted the cost of India with these little wars for the empire. He was, I mean, particularly the Afghan conflict, the Burma conflict, and all this. Lansdowne had a soft corner for India. He always thought that India is unnecessarily paying the price for things it is not responsible for. He remained the Secretary of War Effort from India till 1900. And Lansdowne eventually left the country, and he was succeeded by Lord Elgin the Second. Okay, the story of Elgin and the subsequent viceroys we'll see in tomorrow morning's class, guys. You have a nice day for today. That's it for today. I'll continue this discussion tomorrow. Thank you. Bye bye. Today's class PDFs and PDF till Elgin will be available in the Telegram channel. I'll be sharing it now. Okay. Thank you. Bye bye. See you tomorrow morning, 8 a.m.